barely walk with this much gear.
Okay, you can hear me now. I just did the spiel twice now. Okay, this is the third time. Welcome to the Long Dark. This is Babbage-nator. I'm a Canadian streamer based in Vancouver, BC. I'm currently doing a challenge, which we posted already, Luck of the Draw. And I explained it. I will explain it again. Basically, for those who are new, this is just a challenge, an interloper challenge, where we have to draw a card, random card from a deck, and the suit on the card tells us the nature of the challenge for the region, and the number tells us the amount. So when we started off, we drew a King of Diamonds, which meant we had to spend 13 days in Pleasant Valley before we could leave. Now, once the 13 days were up, we left and we went to the new region and we drew a new card. And in Crumbling Coastal Highway, we drew 2 of clubs. So we've been waiting around trying to find carcasses or kill rabbits until we had 2 guts or 2 hides or some combination of that, which we now do. So now we have the option to leave, but we still have no bedroll. So it means we have to gather more cloth and we have to make certain we have sticks because we'll be staying in Crumbling Highway without a bedroll, which is not fun. So this is a little bit about me. I wear many different hats. I have like many different things. And we are here. Did we finish searching? I don't know if we finished searching. I think we just stuck our head in there. I don't think we searched it yet. Let's go back in and see if we can find anything in there.
Sure getting cold.
I think we ended the stream sticking our head in there. Yeah, we haven't searched anything here. Good idea.
I'm not going to be able to carry this load for much longer.
Yeah, stick our head in a strange place. Yeah. Well, the one thing this run has is crackers. It may be short on a lot of other stuff, but not crackers.
This'll come in handy.
Another cracker. What's going on? Oh. I didn't know we could harvest salt. Interesting. How much did it amount to? Wow. Fair bit of salt. I had a pretty quiet day today. I worked from home and mostly a little bit of documentation, a little bit of troubleshooting, a little bit of experimentation on trying to take one particular idea I worked with yesterday and extend it a little bit further. That's all very vague, but basically I don't think anyone wants to listen to the fine details of the particular text transcription project that I've been working on. Let's see, what does Roller say? It was a busy week, lots of trucks show up when you were on duty. Are you working customs and border, or are you working some sort of weight scale place? Or I don't know. Sounds intriguing. Don't have to say, I'm just curious. Shippers are preparing for the changes. Yes, yes. They're doing some sort of import stuff. Anyways, yeah, that's definitely true. Everything's gonna go crazy. Prices are gonna just fly up. Yeah, I ordered a few things earlier today, and then I was thinking about the fact that if I ordered them any later, I would probably be paying more next week. And that's indirect, right? Because I'm in Canada, not the US, but some of our stuff has to go indirectly, or has to go through the US, depending on who we're buying from. Yeah. I mean, this is basically, try to, everyone, like the vendors and wholesalers all the way down to the consumers, are all stockpiling in advance. think the most productive thing I did today was laundry. I mean, I tried to be productive with work stuff. And I did do some stuff. And at the end of the day, I did some additional research on a new consultation that's coming up. So I guess I was working. Yeah, I think you have to be strategic. It's rare that we can update both our laptop and our tower PC rig. Home PC. Desktop. That's what I'm looking for.
Did I say I hate being cold? Because I really do.
There goes our torch.
If I don't warm up soon.
Yeah, it's just way too cold. Cannot stay here. I think we talked about this last time. Like my current gaming rig here in Vancouver is fine. It's using Windows 11, has no problems with that. The only bottleneck here is that I deliberately chose a motherboard, and even the replacement motherboard, to take the DDR4 RAM instead of the DDR5 RAM. Because I didn't want to have to replace all the RAM that I'd already purchased. So that will ultimately be the bottleneck, and I will have to at some point. One option would be simply to, at a future date, replace the motherboard and the memory, but at that point you might as well get a new computer. So. Oh, the feed video goes to the, yeah. Yeah, nothing comes to the 5 1/4 anymore. Yeah, my laptop doesn't even come with an Ethernet port anymore. It just assumes that you're going to have high-speed Wi-Fi.
With this much gear.
Okay, we want to make certain we have enough cloth to build a shelter or two. Okay, let's see what we got here. We don't need this thing. This is one. Oops.
Can you eat trees?
Oh, I have to be up early tomorrow because I'm doctor's appointment. Yay. Yeah, it's basically just prescription renewal for my cholesterol medication. So. Which I think he's going to say, okay, also go downstairs, get new blood work done so we can compare the results next time. So. And then I'm going to feel bad because I had pork belly earlier this week and I just had some chicken wings tonight. And so those are probably not the two healthiest things to have eaten this week in terms of cholesterol. Yeah, it's partly because this is the cholesterol medication is a new one, so we don't have a lot of, like, we haven't really done a lot of tests so far, so he just needs to see what kind of improvement there's been. So yeah, it's mainly why. What's the check up on me? This will do water here. My other medication for blood pressure is now, like, they'll give me multiple refills, so it's not a big issue. We still have... Oh, are we out? Oh, I thought we had more... I thought we had more water purification tablets, but I guess not.
I gotta eat soon. I'm not gonna be...
Okay, let's get out of here. That sounds like a bear. No. Deer. Moose, maybe? I don't know. We're going to take a long circle here so we don't walk right into whatever's out there. Okay, not the bear. Oh, there is a deer over there. Okay.
This pack is getting too heavy to carry.
Hmm. I wonder if it'll let us keep going. Nope. Guess there's a limit.
I can barely walk with this much gear.
Keep forgetting to drop these.
I'm gonna need to eat soon.
Okay.
All I can think about is food.
Why did we make the... Oh. It was kind of silly to make the boots since we already have working boots. We really wanted the pants. Oh well. It is what it is. Okay. Just that. We only have one gut left. What's these two? And the winds are terrible.
I think my stomach is eating itself.
Hmm. Okay, I think we're looking good here. Oh, we missed this? Oh, interesting. Hey, Lake Hugh, good to see you. We are pretty much ready to leave, but we would like to take some guts with us. What's happening? We are
This
in
pack is getting kind of heavy.
Coastal Highway. We were supposed to be here until we get our two hides or guts, which we have achieved. So we are ready to leave. I think I'm going to be risky and I'll take these with me. I don't need all of them, but we'll take some of them. So much cloth. We have plenty of cloth. Yeah, we're ready to go to Crumbling Highway. Even though we have no bedroll.
I'm not sure I can carry much more.
Do we have to go? Well, we have everything else we need to forge. We have a hammer. Oh, I just left a bunch of metal behind. But we have a hammer, we have a hacksaw. We have pry bar. We just don't have a bedroll. And we have guts and maple and birch bark. We have everything we need. Now we got the guts. We're good. So tonight when we draw cards, we're actually going to draw... How is this doing this? So tonight when we draw cards, we're going to draw from this deck. Let's see, this deck. This is from a Kickstarter that I did for a role-playing game supplement called, or actually I think it's its own separate game called Stew Pot, which is about running a tavern in a fantasy world. Anyways, one of the perks with the Kickstarter was that it came with a deck of cards. So, and deck of cards like illustrated with like, you know, characters from the book. But since it's about taverns and about cooking, I figured, you know, there'd be, the illustrations would make sense, right? Well, really it's just diamonds are just diamonds, clubs are just clubs. Yeah, I'm trying to think. It's only hearts that have like... Well, face cards, I guess. And then... Even hearts are just hearts, I guess. Just face cards are the ones that have illustrations. Well, it was interesting, a couple weeks ago they sent me an errata pack because apparently 3 of the cards in the playing deck had misprints, and so they sent replacement cards for those. So, oops, wrong one. There we go. So we will draw from this deck when we get the Crumbling Highway. Get all the joy of a real analog deck. Would you say you have taverns and tankards? Yeah. I don't know if it'll be worth a fortune. You know, curiosity. One of them, like the 10 of diamonds, has the 10 on one side, but if you turn it or rotate the card around, it has the 6 of diamonds on the other side. So it's like, oops. It's a good way to cheat, right? And then the Queen of Diamonds was printed as a Queen of Hearts. So yeah, little small, but significant errors. Okay, what do we got over here? Oh, there's a carcass out there on the water. Let's keep an eye out here. Do we see the bear? I think he's way over there. Okay. I'm hoping he's not coming down the road here. Yeah, I think he just started on his journey. So we're good. Oh, I had plans for this Saturday. I was going to try to organize a group of local writers to go out to eat, and it failed abysmally. No one responded. Everyone's busy. They're like, yeah, well, what will I do? I'll probably stay home and make some more pot stickers and dumplings in preparation for New Year's. And maybe I'll paint some terrain. Maybe I'll do something like that. Might go out, do a little bit of shopping that needs to get done. Much more mundane. Yeah, I mean, like, students are all busy with their classes, right? So I know there's stuff I need to work on project-wise. But and other people are playing catch-up from their holiday break, so... Yeah. But I also think that part of it is that it's a lot harder for people to be social once they get a little bit older. It's like, I find like my friends that are in, like students I know that are in their 20s and early 30s, yeah, they'll make time to do stuff. They're probably doing too many things. People in their like late 30s, 40s, 50s, it's like pulling teeth to get them to go out and do stuff. This is not worth it. So my problem is I am currently occupying the world, like as a graduate student, occupying the world of people in their mid-20s and 30s. But I'm not usually on their radar when they think about people to invite to go out and do stuff because they think, oh, Neil's, you know, I'm too old to do stuff like that. Like, you know what? I'd go out and do some of that stuff. Not all of that stuff. Some of that stuff. Yeah, I think definitely the pandemic kind of shut down a lot of like interest in doing things. Yeah.
God, I'd eat anything right about now.
Okay, we're gonna find out what we get here. I was thinking about this earlier today, and I thought, you know what? A lot of it is this, if you're partnered up or coupled up in some way, then it's easier to be a homebody because you've got someone to hang out with at home, if you wish, right? And there's like a baseline emotional support or comfort in knowing there's someone who's got your back. Well, at least that's the hope, is that the person you're with has got your back and supports you. So with that knowledge, that unconscious knowledge or conscious knowledge that you're working with, it's easier to kind of navigate because you know you have someone to come home to. It's like, yeah, things might get isolating or frustrating at work, but you got someone to come home to. And I think like as social dynamics change as you get older and you have fewer and fewer friends that have free time, then yeah, it's a different sort of thing. You come home and it's like, I have a roommate, but my roommate's like never home because they're always in the lab. So I mean, good for them. They're in the lab or they're socializing with people their own age, which is totally normal and fine. But yeah, I do think like it is challenging to figure out how to be social as a single person in a different age bracket than your peers. Or not your peers, your colleagues. Yeah, I know. We've got all sorts of wolves hanging out here. They love me, man. They love me so much. Trying not to lose our torch. Wow, they really want to party. See, I have no problem socializing with wolves in the game, right? They're a little faster, I think, than before. Like, you have to be quick to get rid of them.
is getting kind of heavy.
Yeah, and it's also not like I don't have stuff to do. I have plenty to do. Like, I'm on a couple of committees and have projects that I'm working on, and I'm running 2 D&D games. Yeah, so yeah. But I think part of what I miss is socializing with other writers, and that apparently is a little bit more challenging than I expected here.
Good. Weak.
Okay. We're just going to leave these here for now. We'll come back for them later. They're not going to be cured right away. What's our plan? What is our plan here? It's windy. Will the wolves leave us alone? Okay, they're still barking. What we're going to do is we're going to draw our card. That's what we need to do. So let's find out. Let's put ourselves out of our misery and find out what we got here. So we are... Oh, you don't need to look at my boring bedroom. Let me see if I can throw on something more exciting. Okay. Tormuse. There we go. More excitement. Okay, so we're about to draw our card.
You've been waiting for this Easter egg, haven't you? Love it. Thank you. I appreciate it.
I think my roommate's back now. Okay, welcome readers.
Well
Thank you
played,
for
well
doing
played,
a shout out for Tormuse. Thank you for doing a shout out for Tormuse. We are going to draw from a deck of cards, and this will what do we get? We get a 5 of clubs. So we need to, oh, this is going to be tricky. No, it's not going to be tricky. I think there's enough carcasses here that we can make this work. So 5 of clubs means we have to get 5 hides or guts from this region before we leave. So we have to harvest them. Now we don't have a weapon, so we have to either kill rabbits or harvest from deer or some combination of both. So we have a 5 of clubs. So let's update that. Alright, shouldn't be too hard. Anyways, I'm going to pop out and say hi to my roommate who's back. We'll be back here in a second. On the phone, so didn't really get a chance to
Not
chat.
sure I can carry much more.
Okay, but I did get to refill my water. So we'll leave that here. We are going to get out of here. You know what? I've been having problems with that particular. Let's see here. I'll try a static image instead. Oh, why is our... Okay, there we go. Game screen is back. Yeah, it did look weird. It like disappeared. Not certain what happened there. I hear crows, so hopefully that means there's a carcass. Maybe it's just a corpse. And it sounds like it's going to be a corpse.
I wonder if I can drop any of this gear.
Okay, so let's quickly update this. Day, what are we at? Are we day 19 now? Day 19. Day 19. Crumbling Highway, and we have 5 of clubs. 5 guts. Do. I think what we'll try to do is sneak up to buy the mine entrance, and we'll build our... We'll do what we usually do, which is we treat the mine as part of this region, and we'll build our snow shelter up there. Because that way, if there's a bad storm, we can just duck into the mine and wait it out. There should be a carcass over here.
I'm not going to be able to carry this load for much longer.
Interesting. So we know there's a carcass over here by the fallen tree, and there should be another one out there on the ice somewhere. Little island somewhere should have one. So for the time being, we've got to... okay, we have enough. Okay. I think this is the...
Come on, little fire. Come on.
Annoying, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. Nope, that's not what we want. Nope, that's not what we want. That's what we want. I hate planting the snow shelter anywhere in here because it's such a pain to get the spot where it goes.
Feels like night is coming.
Okay. Now we just need to build the fire a little closer. And we'll make it work.
Come on, little fire. Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
Okay, we're going to pop in here and grab some more coal.
This pack is getting kind of heavy.
We're just operating inside of the mine, but we're not actually going to leave the mine, so... No, no. The only limit... Yeah, so if you get stuck someplace, you could just theoretically wait it out until there's a respawn. Except for I think you'd still have to leave the region. So yeah, it is possible to actually lose the challenge with a certain amount of bad luck in what you draw in a transition zone. We're finding all sorts of mitts. We should have pulled a few more torches before we left. Oh. Working and lurking.
This pack is getting too heavy to carry.
I think we'll just do a lantern for the rest of this. So you're looking forward to retirement? Okay, so let's make our lives easier. We don't need all of that. Take half, put it in there, come back for it later. No, we're doing lantern. No, we got one torch left. So I think the responsible thing here to do, or the tactical thing here to do, would be to sleep overnight. Hopefully weather is kind and we basically hit as many places as we can to get guts and guts and hides. It should be theoretically possible to do that in one day and then just pop out of here. And make a beeline to, I guess, either the lighthouse or to the Riken. You might do it again. Oh, that's cool.
I'm not sure I can carry much more.
There we go here. This is not looking good, folks. Our wind is not surviving. This is the angle we could not protect. Maybe foolishness. Uh-oh. Oh, we've been sleeping while hungry too. That was not a good idea. Okay. Yeah, we'll eat it. One, two, three. So much excitement here.
Goodness. Made it through another night.
We did, Astrid. We did. We survived. Okay, we got 9 so far. Or actually, technically 8.
I can barely walk with this much gear.
Okay. Let's see where we're going here. Where should we go? I'm going to gather a few more sticks before we start this fire.
I need to find food.
Oh, there's more out here. Yeah, we're gonna have no problems getting what we need here. Other than the fact that we're apparently out of tinder? Yeah, how's that? We're out of tinder. Figure I'd find more sticks.
Come on, little fire.
Oh, that's not good. Can't really afford to mess this up. Douse it with oil.
gonna need to eat soon.
Okay, there we go. So we got 3. We just need to do one more.
I'm not gonna be able to carry this load for much longer.
Let's bring it back to this side. But we have to go find sticks, so... I mean, we could tear up some torches, but it's gotta be a better way. There are always matches here in this particular cave, so one reason to come to Crumbling Highway if you're at the start of a run and don't have matches. I mean, other than the fact that you'd have to bypass all those wolves, but yeah. Where are all the sticks? Probably back on the mainland. Ah, wasted a match. Okay, I'm going to step away for a brief second. I'll be back. Okay, back from bio break. Yeah. We could go and beachcomb. That's another option. I think the other side's safer to beachcomb. So we know if we can get enough sticks, we can go ahead and harvest the other one and then just get out of here. Yeah, we already looked in there. I mean, one option might be just to accept the fact that since we have so many matches, we can just afford to do this. Bad idea. Wow, that was a bad idea. It seemed like a good idea at the time, but that turned out to be a bad idea.
Freezing.
How warm are we? 2 degrees? Yeah, at least we're above 0 here. Okay, really gotta hope that this thing lights right away.
Come on, little fire. Come on. I've never felt so cold. Mala. Perfect.
Okay, we'll sit here, warm up a little bit. Not good, not good. Really not good at all. Okay, so we're just chilling here waiting for the storm to die down, hopefully, maybe. So let's see, a few other updates. If you remember, my composer friend, who I work with on the opera, I told you about how she and her husband lost their house to the wildfires that went through Altadena area in Los Angeles. Well, the latest update is they've raised almost $40,000 in their GoFundMe, which is fantastic. That's a huge help to them. They lost instruments, they lost music, they lost projects they were partway through, they lost family heirlooms, all sorts of things. But most of all, just a sense of home and a place to sleep, you know. And in Los Angeles, that's a big thing, is just to have a place to stay and to create. So I'm really happy to see that they're doing so well in terms of like the generosity of people to support them. It's nothing compared to what they've lost, but at the same time, it's a huge, huge help at this point. So, yeah. So yeah, really, really happy that, and that's true. Like a number of other like writer friends who have lost their places. Just the outpouring of support from people in the last week has just been huge. Yeah, I mean, my loss with the flood pales in comparison with like losing everything. You know, there are things that I lost that I don't know if there's any replacement for, right? And there are other things that are just sentimentally valuable to me. I probably could replace them if I spent enough money, but I couldn't really replace what they stand for exactly. Like all the books that I purchased for my dissertation research, like I had books I'd signed out from the library, but there were also things that were like not available or I wanted to permanently own because they were critical to my research. And so I built like a whole shelf of these books that I was hoping, if I had continued on that path and if I'd landed a university professorship somewhere, that I'd continue to be writing and teaching on. And, you know, losing those books was kind of also kind of the closing of a chapter on that idea of being a university professor, you know, who works in 19th century technology and teaches creative writing, you know. I don't think the door's completely closed. I just think that it really made it feel like that part of my life was, that chapter was closed before it even opened, and the flood kind of really, you know, made that clear. But at the same time, now I find like I'm able to use some of those things in ways I hadn't planned. Like they turned into, all that research also fit into the opera, also fit into, you know, things I talk about on stream, also feeds into conversations I have, you know, in my role in the library. So you never know. You never know. It just reshapes in a different way. There's an essay that I started but never finished about that flood and about losing books that I really should get back to and finish writing. And part of it's about being haunted by things that you know you've lost. You know, when you look over your collection and see things, well, you see what you can't see, right? So. Okay, I think we are going to,
This pack is getting too heavy to carry.
should we stay or should we go? part of me that leans towards the take our stuff. Buff is sleepy, yeah. Well, we are coming up, like, I got about 15 minutes before the end of my usual stream. Yeah, I know, if I stay, there will be double. Okay, if I were a wild man, if I were super crazy, I'd figure out how to build a fire in here. I don't think it's doable.
I can't feel my feet. Wait.
Oh, that was bad. We're at 3 out of 5. But this is pretty terrible. Okay.
I could eat a horse.
Ooh, it still sounds terrible outside. How terrible is terrible? It's bad. Amazingly, it feels like 3, even though we're... Should we try to sleep for an hour? Was it a bad idea? We'll find out. Now it's officially cold. No, it was only good for an hour.
I'm not going to be able to carry this load for much longer.
Yep, there we go. Is this like a non-existent box? Can we not touch this crate? Okay, we can touch this crate. With our bare hands, we will destroy this crate with our bare hands in the dark. Okay, a little bit more firewood. Let's see if we can find another crate to break down.
This pack is getting too heavy to carry.
Hey, two fat cats. Welcome in. Thanks for joining us. We are nearing the end of tonight's stream. We're doing a challenge run in Interloper called Luck of the Draw, something that I created. Because I like creating annoying challenges for myself. So yeah, if you're, there it is. Oops. So basically how it works is every time we enter a region or we spawn in a new region, we have to pull a card from a deck. And that card, the suit tells us the nature of the challenge for that region, and the number tells us the quantity. So if we get a 5 of diamonds, it means we can't leave until we've spent 5 days there. You know. So we have to spend at least 5 days there. If we get the 10 of clubs, it means we have to harvest 10 hides or guts before we're allowed to leave, however long it takes. Can't be things that we brought with us. They have to be things that we find in the region. That could be challenge ender if we get it in one of the transition zones that doesn't have a lot of wildlife. If it's a 7 of spades, we have to boil or find 7 kilos of water. That one's relatively easy to do, provided you have fuel or you have a lot of houses. And then and then hearts is basically kilos of meat. So you might get queen of hearts would be 12 kilos of meat from whatever. Okay.
I can barely walk with this much gear.
Okay, where's our snow shelter? Let's see, are we warm enough? 3. We might get another couple hours. We'll go for 2 hours. Oh, and we keep forgetting to eat. We need to eat. We're just going to focus on any foods that we could eat. Like the bannock goes bad, so we should eat that as quickly as we can. Zero. Oops. Now we're cold.
I'm not going to be able to carry this load for much longer.
Been a lot of storms on this run. Still a big storm. Okay, we're really close to finishing up our 5 guts and hides because we have harvested 1 deer carcass already, so that's 3 items. We need 2 more, so we just need to go down to the other carcass and harvest it.
All I can think about is
Then we're
food.
set. Then we're set. Just be careful.
This pack is getting too heavy to carry.
Yeah, we're trying to make tinder.
with this much gear.
We don't need the meat for the challenge. We just want to eat it so that we have well, so we don't have to carry it around with us. Although carrying the guts is still going to be a problem. So.
Meat trees?
Yeah, it's bad. So far tonight, there have been multiple times I started sleeping without eating anything. I'm like, that's not healthy, Astrid. Don't do that. Ah, we should have done that with our bare hands. Oh well.
I'm not
Yep,
going to be
weather's
carrying this
changing.
load for much longer.
Okay, we've met our requirement. Just need to get to the exit with our stuff. Okay, so we'll pick up next stream, which might be Saturday, might be. So tomorrow night I'm running a D&D game locally, so an in-person game, so it won't be streaming. And then Saturday night I might be streaming, we'll see. Sunday night I run an online D&D game, which is also not streamed. So I think generally speaking my schedule is working out to be Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So I will try to do Saturday night. But yeah, we'll see. My Wednesday nights might be changing. Something in the works to move a meeting I have on Wednesday night to a different night. But yeah, we'll see.
This pack is getting too heavy to carry.
Okay, so our plan now is just to get out of here, get to the other side, pull a new card, and probably just pop into a mine so we can save. So yeah, before we wrap up, we will do our our normal customary thing, which is that we wrap up, before we wrap up, I'll read a poem, usually one of my own. We have a little random poem chooser thing that selects something out of, I'm the author of 2 books of poetry, and I have parts of what probably should be my 3rd manuscript, which I've not gotten around to finishing. So we usually read out of there. Ooh. Do you want? What do you want for poem? You can also, yeah, you can put a request in if you have a request. Ah, sure. Can do. We're just gonna. Well, actually, I guess this is us leaving, so.
I'm gonna need to rest soon.
So we lose our torch right away.
Really
Yeah, we
want
lost our
this much
torch right away.
gear.
Okay, let's find out how long we're going to be here. Pull from our random card. Heck. Oops. Too many buttons. Okay, so pull something, and this is what we get. We get the 3 of Spades. That's an easy one. 3 of Spades is 3 kilos of water. We can get out of here in no time. Okay. So 3 kilos of water, 3 of Spades.
I'm starving.
Got lucky. So far, other than our first regen, we have not pulled any face cards. So. I think our plan for next time actually is to go to Hibernia, to the processing plant. And the reason why is we can go through the mines to get there. And then if the wind isn't too bad, we can sneak through, you know, skip through and hopefully bypass the wolves or scare them off. And avoid the bear. And get into Hibernia where there's multiple chances where there might actually be a bedroll. So. What? Close up? You have to use your imagination. Thanks, Stormuse, for catching that. Clearly, I'm tired. No, so with these challenges, we're allowed to use anything that we have to do for the challenge. So the goal is just to boil the 3 kilos. You could drink the 3 kilos immediately, and you'd still be fine. Like, it's definitely the easier, one of the easier challenges. I mean, it'd be more of a challenge if we hadn't found the pot, right? Just like with the meat, the goal is to harvest the meat and cook it, but we don't actually I think it's just to harvest meat. It doesn't even specify that you have to cook it.
Oh, I've never been so hungry in my life.
So you don't get credit just for killing something. You have to harvest.
I'm not going to be able to carry this load for much longer.
Okay. We're just going to save here. So we are officially on day 21. And we need to boil 3 kilos of water. Let's update our challenge here. Okay, so one more time. Save. $21, and then I think we just have to update our counter on the screen here to also be 21. Okay, so let's read a poem. Poem time. Let's see here. How the world fits together. At best, awkwardly, like new stones in an old wall mended by strangers, or the way the dead descend into the earth, drifting like lost teeth in a broken jaw, nothing certain of place. Each memory of the world, each fragment of world a memory carried across the dark soliloquy of water. What passes beneath us and above, the sound of clouds, the character of fire, the slow ease of hammers. Draw me a schematic, a simple diagram of saints, a symbolic representation of the world. Dig here, cross where it is shallow. Here is a silence, here is a moment, here is a road. Blackberry and reed, saltwater bridge of sand, iron girder story, false mercy of flame. Outside the gun bone rattle of children at war, a bus burning like a candle, flickering wax statue of peace. Carry me home in barbed wire tangles, lips of obsidian, eyes like coal, skeleton of bark, dream beneath rivers. The dying, the unyielding curvature of light and longing, the moon's dark mane of cloud trailing and falling, till we wake at last, watching, uncertain, our hands merging, folding one into the other, like an echo of storms carried in 100 paper boats, or the endless chain of names which wed the sky to the world below. Here, any god could be my god, the earth, the coin, this bitter map of numbers I taste on your tongue. So how the world fits together is quite honestly a weird poem, in the sense that I really just let my imagination run with associations and sounds, just let the language kind of roll and fit together. You know, I began with that idea, how does the world fit together? And then just accepted that it is something of chaos, that things don't always make sense. You know, the beginning of the poem is a nod to a famous Robert Frost poem called Mending Wall, where he famously explores the idea that good fences make good neighbors. And then the question is really, do they? And so, you know, that's the new stones in an old wall mended by strangers. But then, like a lot of these other things, they're little things that just show up on the edge of my subconscious when I'm writing. You know, the character of fire. I was thinking about like anime I had seen kind of set in a feudal period, and how during certain festivals they would burn different characters into the hillside. You could see them lit as bonfires from far off, and I thought about the character of fire in that sense. And somehow I ended up thinking about maps and schematics, and like the old tradition of marking, you know, here be dragons, or this is like the edge of the known world, and then beyond we don't know. And how we might mark other things and say, here, this is a silence, this is a moment, this is a road. And, you know, I grew up in the 80s, you know, and there were all these conflicts around the world, which persist to this day. But the 80s were a time period where we'd see everything televised, and everything felt simultaneously far away and then very close. It wasn't our neighborhood, and yet at the same time, it was in the intimate space of our home. Back then, the television was the center, like often in many homes, the center. They talked about it as a digital hearth. It's the way that it replaced the fireplace as a gathering point for the family. And so here we were all gathered around watching the TV, which feels like an intimate space. And yet all these images of violence and war and atrocity are just being pumped into the family space. And so everything felt distant and yet too close and too real. So I think those images of war just kind of carry in because of that. Yeah, and then it just kind of plays with these other ideas of what links us from here to the eternities. Can be something so simple as 100 paper boats or cranes or whatever it is that we fold and make, or names that tie us together generation after generation. So that's kind of where the poem's coming from. So it is weird. It's definitely, there are poems that are more on the narrative side in the sense that there's a clear story that's unfolding. You're retracing something in memory. And there are other poems which operate in the space of lyric, which means that it moves in an almost unconscious emotional way in which it leaps from one piece of imagination or association to the next. The logic may not be immediately evident, and yet somehow feels right. Somehow feels like the pieces fit together in a way you can't quite explain, and yet feels moving or compelling, even if you can't understand immediately or logically how it fits together. Intuitively, you feel like it does fit together. So that's kind of, the poem is definitely in that tradition, in the lyric tradition of wild imagination and association, of a type of play with language and ideas, while at the same time digging deeper into like whatever lies buried in our minds and our imagination, and turning it into something more tangible on the page. Anyways, that's what we got. I was thinking about maybe finishing with one other thing. I have to take a look and see if I still have it here. Oh, I don't know. Let me take a look and then decide if it's something I want to read, or if it's even in this set. I think it's in my other set of things. Let me see if it's in there. I was thinking about one other thing. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think I have it here right now. Oh, there's the unsorted pile. Okay, I wrote this kind of in the after. So this is something that's not published, and I don't know if it will get published because it's pretty rough in some respects. But it was kind of a response to a writing prompt. I was teaching a workshop, and we kind of all write together. And so I took the opportunity to respond to my own prompt. I can't remember what the prompt was exactly, but I ended up like reflecting on the experience of leaving Los Angeles while the wildfires were burning. This would have been back in 2015, I think is when I left. 2015, I left Los Angeles, and there were parts of LA that were burning. Not LA, of Southern California and Northern California. There were fires burning. And Central California, I think it was, had most of the fires. I can't remember. It's been a while. But anyways, there were fires, but they hadn't gotten to Los Angeles. Nothing like what we see right now in the news. But yeah, I wrote this, and now I don't know what to do with it. But I've been thinking about it this week. So maybe I'll read this as just sort of one final thing. Some nights the fire draws close to the hills surrounding the house, or at least that's how it feels. There are no actual fires here, only the one blazing in the sky or on the pages of the newspaper. Sometimes I dream of fires sprouting from my hands and leaping outward, or I breathe fire, not as an exhalation, but taken inward. I feast on fire, suck it deep into my lungs and belly. My fingers glow. I stare into the night and feel 100 other fires staring back. Whose fires? I do not know. Do they have dreams? Do they carve their names into the trees or on the hillside? What is a fire but a name that is consumed with the desire to repeat itself, a hunger for transmission, a translation of yearning? Every memory, a person, a nation from some forgotten time persisting. Even the stones crack in the heat. The earth darkens. The sun is shrouded in a dark veil of soot. Who can stop the word of light? Anyways, so in the vein of other weird poems, I was thinking about that this week. So it's not directly about the fires, but it was thinking about sort of fire with all its destruction and transformation, and what that meant, in this weird sort of quasi-creative way. So I don't know. I was thinking about this week as sort of an artifact of like other projects that were left unfinished. So let's see. Let's figure out who we can go raid then. Thank you all for hanging out and putting up with my random poetry edition. So okay, who do we have? I do not know most of these people. There's me. People doing tales. Okay, well, there's Chef Dan. Maybe we'll try Chef Dan. So we're going to raid someone else that's doing TLD. Yeah, that's who I see right now. Give them a try. Okay. Someone new. Okay, thanks for hanging out with me. We'll head on over right now, and we will be back again, most likely Saturday. So, Saturday, I give you an update on how my Friday night D&D game went, which we're currently in the Weird West. It's Lovecraftian, it's horror, and it's the West. So we'll see how that all plays out. They've already dealt with bandits, and they're going to deal with other stuff.